Nobody. Good afternoon, Sal. Good afternoon, Mark, and thank you for joining us today, the 20th of June, 2024, for this monthly webinar series. This is a monthly thing organized by the Ogun Tech Community, and our focus is to drive conversations around technology, digital technology, for clarity and around the entire building the entire tech ecosystem in Ogun State into a formidable and something that is worthy of emulation worldwide. And that is why we have made it a point of duty to gather every month to have conversations, have leaders of thought and experts in the field come together to train us, teach us, and share insights with us on the topic being raised. Last month, we had the Chief Executive Officer of Editam, CEO founder of Editam, Dr. Ademola Adenubi, as our resource person, and it was indeed an engaging and conversational session we had. I'm confident that today will not be any different. As a matter of fact, there's always room for improvement. So I'm confident that today's session will not just be as engaging as last month or the previous edition. It will even be more anticipated because right here we vie for excellence, and that's one thing we pursue endlessly. My name is Emmanuel. Okay, I would act as a brief host for today, and I trust our guest speaker to do justice to the topic. Today we're looking at research and development in tech, adapting to technological uncertainty. And now, since we're talking about research and development, fair enough for us today. Our guest speaker is not just a practitioner in the field, but also in the classroom, meaning it's closer to research work in the area of technology. And it's also important to say that research and development is crucial to any company or organizational strength. And because it plays a vital role in developing new products, in building new processes, technologies, understanding consumer preferences, and many things. And one of the primary objectives of research and development is also to lead research and see what innovation can come as a result of existing innovation, to build on existing innovation. So we also know that in that capacity, there are various people in various capacities: analysts, scientists, engineers, product managers, innovation managers, technical directors, on and on like that, who all have various roles to play in that research and development ecosystem. So this afternoon, our guest speaker will be delving and taking us down along the line of this crucial topic today. And let me read his quick profile. You know already, our guest speaker is Dr. Olanrewaju Olurotimi Lewis. Olanrewaju Lanre Lewis is an innovative and resourceful academician, researcher, and information technology management professional. He has a PhD in information systems from Rhodes University, South Africa, and an MSc in business information technology from Northumbria University, UK. Currently, he is a lecturer and program leader of the Information Technology Management for Business graduate apprenticeship at the School of Science and Engineering of the University of Dundee, Scotland. He is also the lead consultant of the Mentors Lounge, a faith-based platform aimed at democratizing success and inspiring greatness. Olanrewaju focuses on equipping teachers with knowledge, skills, and training to prepare the students for relevance in the future of work. As an information systems researcher, he has a keen interest in educational technology, e-learning, and personalized ICT for teaching and learning. Olanrewaju is also a pastor, a mentor, and coach, and an active participator in the New Nigeria project. You can be reached on various social handles on LinkedIn, Olanrewaju Lewis, on Facebook, Olanrewaju Lewis, Twitter, Olanre Lewis, and on Instagram at Olanrewaju.Lewis. This afternoon is prepared and ready to take us on this journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends, lovers of the Ogun Tech Community, I give to you the guest speaker, Dr. Olanrewaju Lewis. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to first of all appreciate the Ogun Tech Community for this opportunity to share my own insights on research and development in technology and how we can leverage on it to be able to mitigate the challenges that come with uncertainty in technology. I remember when the whole thing started in Ogun Tech Community back a couple of years ago, and it has now evolved into OTC. So it brings me great pleasure to be here this afternoon or this evening, as the case may be, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much. So today, I want to focus on how we can understand the times, the trends, and how we can do what we call informed research to be able to overcome anything that comes because of the ever-changing nature of technology. We say that technology has a very low half-life. So for this afternoon, my presentation will be focused on this agenda. I'll start with a preamble, okay, and also try to give an understanding of what uncertainty is all about and how we can now address it by adapting, the research and development approach. Then I will give one case study, and I will conclude with a poll, and now be able to welcome questions from the audience. Now, as a starter, please, in the audience here, I'm sure we remember BlackBerry. BlackBerry, at the time BlackBerry came out, it was, in Nigeria, it was the in thing. Everybody wants to have a BB pin, BB pin, BB pin. But it did not last. It was like a fire that was ignited by petrol. It burns quickly and it dies out. BlackBerry was the leader in smartphone market, but it failed to adapt to the rise of iPhone and Android devices. The same thing happened to Nokia. Nokia was priding itself in being the telephone or the mobile phone that has the strongest battery life. But when the wave of iPhone and smartphone came, they did not embrace it on time. And so technology change swept them off the market. How many of us here have used this Kodak camera before? This one that has this cylindrical design. In the days of people taking photos, right? You have this Kodak camera. Now, imagine a situation where a company like this that was founded maybe about 1880 something, and they invested so much in this product. And at the end of the day, towards the early 90s, there was a disruption in the marketplace. And what happened? Kodak, which was once the king of the film market, failed to transition to digital cameras. Today, even a 10-year-old has a mobile phone whose front back camera is about 50 megapixel because of advancements in technology. So we see a situation where in the technological space, we have an ever-changing dynamics to the marketplace, to the things that people need, to the things that people want. So how do you stay ahead of the game? How can you navigate this ever-changing landscape and not be swept off? Like, for example, they usually say that success loves speed. If you are developing a product and you're not studying the trends and the things that are happening within that space, by the time your product is ready, something may have taken over and changed the narrative. That is what we're trying to address in the presentation today. So, the rapid shift in technology that we have seen over the years illustrate how quickly the ground can shift beneath your feet in the tech sector. So that means you cannot afford to sit down, right, as if you are the monopolist in the marketplace. In the space of tech, there is so much happening, there is so much innovation going on, and there is so much strategy going on. And so people need to be mindful of the trends. All right. So what do we mean by technological uncertainty? By definition, technological uncertainty refers to the unpredictability and lack of clarity regarding the future development, technical feasibility, market adoption, and overall impact of new technologies. Now, when we talk about technical feasibility, it means that how viable is that project or that technical idea, that solution that you're trying to bring into the marketplace. When we talk about market adoption, it means that you want to push something to the marketplace. Is this thing that you want to push to the marketplace acceptable for the market? Are the end users or the proposed users of that solution going to embrace this solution? And what will be the overall impact of this new technology to the niche or market that you're trying to go into? As a result, tech uncertainty encompasses the incomplete knowledge about how technologies will evolve. That is, you are unsure of how things will pan out, right? What will be the performance capabilities of what you're trying to push to the marketplace? What will be the economic driver of your solution to scale, right? What kind of regulatory constraints are you going to face? What kind of societal issues, right? Because depending on wherever you are in the world, whether you are in Africa, in Europe, in North America, in Asia, there are different demographics, there are different geographic societal issues that affect what is acceptable within that place. And so, for example, if you are using WhatsApp in Africa and you travel to a place like Asia, you will just discover that it will not work. So if you find yourself within that space, you now have to find what is the solution that works in that kind of environment. And so what works in the global north may not work in the global south, which is why for a place like Nigeria or Africa, right, there is a need to have contextual knowledge or contextual understanding of the market dynamics that work within that space that you want to do. And so the technological uncertainty in a place like Africa, where there is so much issues going on, right, can only be ascertained if you have someone who have local understanding or local knowledge of whatever is going on there, right? So I want to delve into some types of the uncertainty that you can face as a tech professional or as a tech expert or somebody who is trying to build a product or bring a solution to the marketplace. Okay, the first one is technical uncertainty, which is the question that somebody who wants to bring a solution to the market is trying to wonder that, can this new technology right? Or you're trying to find out what is happening with the market uncertainty, right? If I bring this solution to the market, you know, this thing is about the game of numbers, right? If you bring a solution to the marketplace, how many people will your solution be feeding? How many people will your solution service? How many organizations? Which is why you need to have data, right? Data is key. Data is key. Whatever you're pushing out in tech, it must always be driven by data. So will there be a demand for this product? How sure are you that there is a demand? What kind of market feasibility, what kind of strategy have you adopted to understand the market dynamics within the space that you want to push a solution to? Do you know or are you aware of the regulatory conditions, right, that are within that space? Would this technology face legal restrictions? For example, today we know that if somebody says that it is Mr. A or Dr. A that said this statement, we know that you can actually clone the voice of somebody and you can also clone the video of somebody. And now it's now very difficult for you to decipher whether it is actually the person that said it or not because of artificial intelligence, right? So you will see some countries that will not allow some solutions to fly because of such things that are germane to privacy, to legal structure, and many things like that.
And yeah, so the sort of
okay.
key point.
Right? Can we mute? Mr. Okay, kindly mute everyone so that there will not be distraction. Right. So the fourth type of uncertainty that I want to talk about is what we refer to as interoperability. How easy will you be able to integrate what you are bringing to the marketplace to, right, handshake with other legacy systems or infrastructure or existing solutions that are within the space that you're bringing it to? Let's say you want to address solution within the health sector, or you want to address solution within the insurance sector, or you want to address something within the educational sector, right? Are you going to, can you consider some of the things that will help the easy adoption of what you are bringing to the place? That is the integration or interoperability complexities that can be involved with that technological solution. And the other thing, which is very key, is ethical considerations, right? As tech advances, ethical concerns and public resistance will definitely arise, and we are seeing it by the day, okay? So these are some of the uncertainty that anyone needs to consider, or that will be like war before you, that you'll be wondering, what am I going to do concerning this thing? So with that said, how can you leverage research and development approach to adapt to technological uncertainty? Because the truth of the matter is this: whether you like it or not, because of the half-life of tech solutions, the tech solutions has a half-life of 18 months. Within 18 months, something can override it. you can have an hybrid solution of what you're pushing out, right? So how can you now be able to hedge yourself against things like this happening? That's why we're recommending leveraging research and development, right? To, right, address or mitigate the kind of disruption. You know, it is in tech that we say disruption a lot. We always say disruption. Disruption is always happening. But if you are ahead, like 2 or 3 steps ahead of the game, you will not be disrupted out of the market. We'll see the case study that I will share later in this presentation and how they could have mitigated this thing from happening and how we can now bring it home, right, within our own space, most especially within the Nigerian or the African space, because I believe the future is Africa. I am pro-Africa any day. Okay, so the first one that I want to, because I am a pro-agile person, right? I love agile solutions because agile is telling you that I am not rigid. I am dynamic. I can adjust to the different dynamics in the marketplace. And you cannot afford to use any other approach other than being agile, right? Because agile says that, okay, we want to work on this part of the solution. We are not going to run what we call the waterfall or top-down approach. We're going to take it in bits that we refer to as iterations, right? And how do you do this? You'll be looking at, for example, let's say there is a component or a feature or a functionality that you want to incorporate into the solution or into the idea that you want to bring into the marketplace. You have brainstormed, you have done your market research, you have done your feasibility study, and you have seen the numbers. And now you started development. But maybe 1 month into development, you just saw a release. If you are using the top-down or waterfall approach, you're going to run into trouble. Agile makes you to overcome that. So embracing Agile for research and development under the uncertainty will give you a faster feedback loop. Because with Agile allows you to incorporate the end user, right, into development. And so with that, you are handshaking with the end user who can be an early adapter or a pro adapter. That means somebody who is actually an expert or somebody who is a novice who doesn't know about the thing. And so with that, you have frequent short development cycles that could be 2 weeks or 4 weeks that we call sprints or iterations. And so with that, at every point of iteration, you're actually producing something that meets the unique needs of that user, right? And that's why we say that with agile development, you are getting feedback almost immediately. You are knowing the pain points of the customer, you're knowing the pain points of the client, you are knowing the pain points of the end user, and you're able to use that to inform design, right? And you test, and you go back again. And that cycle goes on. And so it gives you a lot of flexibility, right? To adjust to any change or quote unquote disruption that may come to the development process as a result of the new information that you get. And so this is how, and we mute Mr. Pelumi, right? So this is how, right, you can leverage on the agile approach to address uncertainty, technological uncertainty in the marketplace. Now, the second thing I want to show us here is being futuristic, having some sense of deep foresight, right, to whatever is happening. I usually tell when I'm discussing with my students, because one of the courses I take is the Agile product development. I say that as an IT professional, do you listen to news or you try to sift the trend behind the news? Because news is always flying around. But when you hear news, do you listen to news and try to draw out what is this news inferring to? What is it actually? Where is the trajectory of this news? What does it imply? Because that is what you need to be able to know where the direction of any development or technological advancement or any innovation is going to happen within any space. So, for example, you want to be active. You also want to be agile in the way you do things. One of the things that you can do is to subscribe to industry reports, right? Market research reports within your space. If you're within the higher education space, you need to subscribe to things like that. McKinsey reports like that are very, very important. Nowadays, the world is flat, right? And so you need to engage with platforms like Eventbrite. There are so many free webinars, free seminars, right? You can follow even Twitter Spaces or change the setting of your Twitter to be programmed to get feeds for the industry or the niche that you are a tech enthusiast in, right? And so with that, you'll be getting updates. And when you get updates, you will know the direction of the coin in the space that you're operating in. You will know what is going to be happening next within the space that you're operating in. And also you need to invest in early stage companies. Why? Because that is where they can make all the mistakes. They can make all the mistakes. They learn so fast there. There are so many things going on. There is so much brainstorming going on. There is a lot of energy in early stage companies, right? And so you need to monitor emerging trends. When you hear that NVIDIA is top notch, has overtaken Microsoft and the likes of Apple, do you just relish the noise behind that news, or you ask yourself, what does this news mean to me if I'm in health tech? What does this news mean to me if I'm in prop tech? If I'm in edutech, if I'm in insurtech, if I'm in any form of space within the tech space that you are operating in, anytime you hear any news, what are you asking yourself? Are you just relishing, or you're trying to find out this trend is actually going somewhere? Right? Another thing is scenario planning for different future possibilities. That means ecosystems like we have here, which is the Ogun Tech Community, right? We can simulate, right, different future possibility of scenarios, right? For example, identifying what are challenges that we're facing in Ogun State, what are challenges we're facing in West Africa, what are the challenges we're facing in Nigeria, and ask yourself, can we form an ecosystem to address this thing, right? And that way, different lovely ideas will be coming up. And that's how you can be futuristic and be able to know how things are moving. Then, of course, which is very key, don't just be an island. Collaborate. Collaborate with people, right? A tool that anybody cannot afford not to be using today is LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is a platform not to showcase that, okay, you have this qualification or you have this experience. No. LinkedIn is a platform to engage with businesses, engage with experts, engage with thought leaders within any space, right? For example, apart from being on LinkedIn, right, I do get direct emails from organizations. I get direct emails from countries that are not even within Europe. I get mail from everywhere, right? Before I came for this meeting this afternoon, I was in a meeting with two people from Croatia, right? And they wanted to do something in Gambia. And they reached out for collaboration because they saw maybe one skill set that is in that place. So the world, like I said earlier, the world is flat. You need to see how you can be thinking ahead. And they always say that there's an African proverb that says that if you want to go fast, go alone, or if you want to go far, go with the team. Now, there's something I want to show us in this place, which is to buttress the aspect of news or trends. Do you listen to news? Because nowadays, 9 times out of 10, everybody that is on their mobile phone, they're either scrolling to Instagram, or they are scrolling through Facebook. We need to be very intentional with whatever we are doing, right? In the world today. That is why news or trends is a big question. Do you listen to news or you are sifting out trends from it? I want to show you some things that are in the world today that are kind of trending. In the slide here, top 3 tech news that is trending today. SpaceX, a company owned by Elon Musk, right? They just completed their first soft ocean landing, and the company plans to ramp up production to build 1 Starship per day at its new Star Factory facility. When you hear a news like this, what comes to your mind? Are you like, okay, or is there a possibility that something like this can change the narrative of space travel or air travel? Can I do anything that could help this person? Do I have anything that I can do there? Don't just hear the news. Probe further. Look at this second one. NVIDIA, right? They have a great market milestone that has been trending for the past maybe about 2 or 3 weeks now, right? They have surpassed Apple to become the world's 2nd most valuable company, driven by the high demand for the AI processors. Now, when you hear this kind of information, this kind of news, you should ask yourself, what is the focus? AI processors. And they are now valued at $3.01 trillion in 2024. What does that mean? That means AI is going to be on Pro Max, if we can say that word. AI is going to be on Pro Max everywhere. Because if at 2024, they are valued at this much, it means that there are so many solutions that will be driven by AI processors very, very soon, right? Look at Amazon, right? They have this product, which is the Zoox, right? It's set to begin trials of autonomous vehicles in Austin, Texas, and Miami, Florida. These trials will use retrofitted Toyota Highlanders equipped with human safety drivers. Now, what does this mean? For anybody within Europe, US, Canada space, it means that very soon there may not be human drivers for Amazon deliveries. So, what will be required? Is there any solution that can plug into this opportunity? That is what you should be doing when you hear news like that. So whether the news is from Europe, whether the news is from Africa, or wherever it is coming from, you need to always probe beyond the news. What is not written? What is not announced in the news? That's what you should ask yourself. Then we have top 3 tech trends to watch out for as a tech professional. As you can see from the previous slide, AI is everything. AI continues to permeate various sectors, from healthcare to finance, to education, to insurance, to even childcare. AI is driving so many things. So you'll be expecting to see advancement in generative artificial intelligence, autonomous systems. People don't want to do anything again. In the US today, 2 things are already operating. There is a big Amazon store that has no human being in it. What you do is come in with your phone and your Amazon identity from the entrance. Once you tap at the entrance, you pick up all the items that you want to buy and you tap out. The payment is made and you go. That is already available. It's driven by artificial intelligence. If you go to Amazon warehouses today, there is high level of automation there, such that when they have several stacks of products that they want to deliver, it is machine driven by AI systems that work there. If you go to some place like Tesla, right, you have so many what do they call it, manufacturing lines that are being managed by machines, right? Quantum computing is going to take over the world. In manufacturing, in cybersecurity, in financial modeling, it's going to change the narrative. So the question is, what can I do with this thing? And this third one is big deal today. That's why you have all this COP 20 something, COP 20 this conference. Everybody, every nation is trying to bring down the burning of fossil fuel and things like that. That's why you see oil companies are now calling themselves energy companies, because they are moving to renewable energy. They're trying to have sustainable technology, right? So innovations in clean energy, including electrical vehicles and renewable energy technologies, are becoming more prominent. So the question is this: where are you going to play in this space? How can you ensure that as you are developing, you are leveraging on research, right, and development to mitigate technological uncertainty, right? So that is, so when you now look at that, with all these strategies in place, the bedrock of all these strategies is having the right team working with you. Having the right team, a flexible team, a team that comprises of people that are technical in nature, they are very creative in their designs, and they have high business proficiencies, right? Then you need to create an environment. That is why I like what we call living labs and tech hubs. They are not normal offices. It is an environment where learning thrives. That's why you will see a tech hub or a living lab. They will have a snooker board there, or they will have a roller chair there. They will have things that make people relax and help them to be creative, help them to be flexible, help them to get data, get information from big data that's available about the space, and being adaptable. You cannot be rigid and survive in the tech space. In a space that has a half-life of 18 months, you need to be very dynamic and adaptable. And so this takes me quickly to share this case study of companies who did not fall to the ever-changing technological space. They leverage on research and development under a very unstable tech space, and they were able to scale. They were able to achieve what they wanted to achieve. Now, we all know Netflix. But the funny thing is this, right? Before Netflix came, there was a company called Blockbusters. The story you have is that Blockbusters, when the founders of Netflix, right, when they approached Blockbuster, that Blockbuster, you have rental. They are the biggest video rental company in the world that time. That time you go to Blockbuster to go and borrow VHS videos. I remember that we're also borrowing VHS videos in those days, in the 90s, right? And this guy said that when people come to borrow VHS and they don't come back on time, you will have to pay late fees for not returning it on time. And when they discovered that the cost of people coming from their homes to pick it up and back was the same cost of delivering the videos to them in their house. So Netflix started by saying that, let us do that second part for you by helping you to deliver the videos to people's home. So people just need to order for the video that they want online, and it will be delivered directly to their homes rather than people coming to pick it up from Blockbuster shop. That was the proposition of Netflix that time. But just towards the millennium, internet streaming started gathering momentum. And they had the challenge of disrupting the traditional movie rental industry with the uncertainty that we have never embraced internet streaming before. What was the challenge? They were wondering that people are only used to borrowing videos. Would they adopt streaming services? What will be the problem that we'll face if we decide that, okay, let us be moving these videos to become streaming services? Or copyright issues, licensing agreement issues, right? Can you imagine moving from picking physical phones, physical videos, VHS, to now making it available online? That was the challenge they faced. But you know what they did? They were agile in their approach. Netflix adopted an interactive approach. They were constantly testing their features because any feedback you get from a client or user or end user or customer of your product offering can either make or mar you. That is why Agile is very, very good. And so they were working on it. Every iteration was better. Every iteration was better. And they had the foresight. They recognized the potential of streaming early on. And they invested heavily in building their own streaming infrastructure. That's another key lesson there. They built their own streaming infrastructure. And before you know what was happening, they pivoted from solely streaming licensed content to producing their own original shows based on user viewing. And what they did lead Netflix to become? Netflix changed the narrative. Today, everybody, whether you are in Europe, US, Africa, you have access to Netflix, right? And they revolutionized the way people consume entertainment and became a global leader in streaming services. If you go to any home today, right, that have internet, you see that it's either they are fully subscribed to Netflix, they will now have an additional, which is Prime. But you will not see that people are subscribed to Prime alone. The first choice will be Netflix because they made the adoption of their solution very easy. So the point I'm trying to make here today is that whatever field that you are in, whatever sector that we are in, and let us bring it home, even to Ogun State, right? Ogun State is a very vibrant state, right? With very creative, innovative, young, middle adult, even veterans in the field. Having this harvesting point of OTC, right, will actually help us to actually see what are the issues, what are the challenges, because I usually try to look at numbers. Ogun State today has a population of between 6.5 to 7 million people, right? And out of that 6.5 to 7 million people, we have over 60% are young people, right? There are different challenges here and there. We can leverage on best practice here and there and see how we can leverage on data. I know the challenge of a place like Nigeria or Africa is data, but because of technology, because of, right, what we call online service, online platforms to get people to engage with your questions, you can actually know the heartbeat of the people. And so we see from this case study that it is a big deal. And so I got this quote from Richard Branson, which says, business opportunities are like buses. There is always another one coming. The question I want to ask you today is this. Haven't heard all these things, right? What is the next big thing that is going to come that will disrupt whatever you are doing? Are you preparing yourself? Are you getting the right information? Are you being deliberate about what you're producing? And so before I round up, because I have a concluding session, right? I want us, if you're on this call, to either use your QR code, or you go to this link that is here, menti.com, right? Menti.com, and join the poll. There are about 2 questions there. I want to see how we have been able to understand this thing and get our feedback, right? You can use a QR code or use the link there to join. Okay. I will just give us maybe about 3-5 minutes to quickly do that. Then I will round up this session. We can quickly do that, then round up this session. I hope we're able to see the link. So before I round up this thing, I want to go to where the mentee stuff is. I'll come back to the sharing briefly. Mr. Moderator, just let me know once we are through, then I'll round up quickly.
Okay. I see that the link is shared in the chat.
Okay. Okay,
So,
great. That's
for those struggling, if you can't get that, just take a picture of the previous one.
okay.
You go to the link, but then it's been copied in the chat room for those of us having difficulty in taking the poll.
Okay. So I'll just go back to my slide and I will continue now. Right. So with that said, right, I want to summarize this presentation with this. Thriving in the space where there is high level of volatility or there is high level of uncertainty in technology, you need to embrace these things here that are recommendations. One thing is to know this and know peace. Uncertainty is inevitable. It's just like saying that risk is sure. Life itself is a risk, so uncertainty is inevitable. Technological uncertainty is inevitable, but it is surmountable. What do you need to do? You need to embrace research and development in your product development, in your design, in your teams. You will notice that most big organizations have R&D unit. That is what keeps them 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of competition, right? So that nobody will come tomorrow and just sweep them off the carpet. The second thing is agility is key. Being agile, being dynamic, right? Being flexible. Rapid iteration, prototyping. Prototyping is just say you have the minimum one that can work properly, right? And you engage the end user to have feedback from them. And so you learn from that feedback and you take it in. I usually tell my students that feedback is a breakfast for champions. You know what feedback is? Every eye has a blind spot. Feedback is showing you your blind spots, what you are not seeing, right? And so if you embrace feedback, you become better, right? So constantly learning, can we mute this person? Constantly learning can fuel success in a fast-changing environment like the tech space. The third thing that can help to thrive in the space of uncertainty is to be futuristic. You must actively scout for emerging trends from the news. Don't listen to news. Sift out the trends from the news, right? And anything that is likely to disrupt the space, you can see it ahead because you are studying trends. You are actively studying trends. And how did I say you can do this? Subscribe to corporate organizational reports like McKinsey reports. Change your Twitter feed to be getting updates. Don't be getting updates of news, fake news that does not help you. Subscribe, follow platforms that are important within your space so that you'll be aware and you can sift out the trend. And lastly, nobody goes far without a team. Team means together, everyone achieves more. And so you need to have a team by building diverse skill set, people that are technical, people that are creative, people that have business savvy, okay? And let it be within a culture of learning, a learning environment that is, people must be teachable. There is nobody that knows all. That is why in Agile, everybody has a contribution, okay? And with that, I believe that no matter how uncertain technological advancement is, you will always be ahead of the game. I want to thank everyone that has been on this call so far. Thank you for listening, and I will welcome questions now. Okay, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I must commend you for the effort and the thoughtfulness that has gone into this presentation. And if anybody does not take anything away from this, they'll take away the idea of not just listening to music, but seeking for ideas and for trends. Then there is also the model of Agile. And from my observation, we have also broken down the entire process of research and development into two. One side for consumer, what are you consuming from research, studies published? Then for product owners too, how are you using research to improve your product? So I give kudos to you on that. Let's have comments, questions, observations, addition, or clarification on the issues raised. It's spoken extensively on this topic, and perhaps I even say exhaustively that I won't be shocked if we don't have questions. But then I trust that we are following, and no doubt we'll have people who want to be a part of it or who want to open up newer lines of thought or newer horizons on the topic. So you can do that by waving or raising of hands, and I will unmute your mic while you.
So I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
No, we're in the evening now.
Good evening. Thank you,
okay.
Doctor.
Thank you, sir.
I really benefited from the presentations. It's quite deep. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
I follow from the beginning to the end. Oh, the most interesting part is that when you mentioned the area of software development using Agile, because I can see that will be incorporate Agile methodology in a way of life when talking about software development or research. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you that, we have some of those methodology that we can see also adopt, but you keep on emphasis on the Agile methodology. You talk about the Scrum, but you maybe a little bit, maybe you don't really emphasize on it. And we also have some of the methodology that we can see also adopt, especially the modern testing, because as it takes place now, the most important thing is that we are looking today now, we have a software. Testing is also a key before we can say we want to deploy it to our end user. We must have a feedback. And what do you think and why using Agile or some other, why not using some other testing methodology?
All right.
That's my question.
All right. Thank you very much for.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. Let me first of all say this. In Agile, take Agile to be a tree, okay? A tree that has many branches. So one of the branches of Agile is Scrum. Another one is Extreme Programming. Another one is Kanban. Another one is fast, they call it fast development and fast delivery. So under Agile, there are different variants. Because when Agile was formed that was in 20, I think it was early 2000, right? About 80-something software developers came together to sign the Agile Manifesto. Now, out of those who signed the Agile Manifesto, a couple of them have branched to create different variants of the original Agile. So that's why you now have extreme programming, they call it XP. There is Kanban, there is Scrum, there is Lean methodology. All of them are variants of Agile. But the most important thing, excuse me, the most important thing that you need to understand is you can call it first principles. When you understand first principles, which is the tree, the Agile itself, depending on the kind of project, the kind of development, the kind of solution that you are working on will now determine whether you want to have a mix and match of maybe Scrum, Lean, XP, Kanban, or any one of them. But the most important thing that you need to know about Agile is this. Agile is a mindset. Agile is a mindset. And what's the mindset? Mindset is saying that we value customers more than the product itself. So how do we service the customer every time over delivering value to the customer? How do we focus on a working solution rather than the processes that we need to go through? Like we need to step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So irrespective of whatever you are doing, is a mindset that matters. So like, for example, when you're talking about testing, in Agile Original, there is, when you first of all plan, design, develop, test. Testing is in the loop. If you check, I can share the slide of this presentation with the ESCO of OTC, and they can share, right? In the Agile loop, there is a testing there. And there is no Agile variant that does not have tests, because in testing, you are actually relating with the customer. Because in Agile development, there is the user or the customer involved in it. And they are the ones that will help you to do the beta testing, right? They are the ones that will help you to do the beta, the alpha, A and B testing. So it is when you do that, they now give you a feedback. The feedback is now, it forms like input into the next iteration or the next development process. So I will say that you understand, first of all, the whole Agile framework itself. But you can now decide that you want to use Scrum, you want to use Lean, you want to use XP, you want to use Kanban, or you want to use fast development, fast delivery, any method. I hope that makes sense. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. More questions or comments? If you have any questions, just unmute your mic and speak. Your mics are enabled. Just unmute and speak.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, so I asked a question earlier in the chat, and I don't know if it can be addressed.
Okay,
Or
hold on. Let me check. Creative
Would you
Sean.
mind asking again?
Is that
Yeah,
you,
that's
Creative Sean, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, I can see it says, I live in Olokuta, Abeokuta with the worst access roads in an estate in the history of the world. Okay, you need to substantiate that with data. How do I solve the problem of bad access road in my community and not keep building ups? Excellent. I mentioned earlier that the world is flat, right? Let me give you an idea. Because one of my mentees lives in that estate, okay? And I've been to Olokuta a couple of times before I left Nigeria. Now, have you ever done a kind of documentary to draw an awareness of the state of that community? The documentary can be done with your smartphone, right? And it can be done in a way that it meets the, how will I put it? The pain point of organizations that support social causes. So you can leverage on technology platforms like Twitter. You can leverage on technology platforms like LinkedIn, because there are organizations in the world that support social causes. So for example, you can tie it to children who have challenges, like most people that go in that place drive Okada, right? If an Okada mistakenly enters a gully and a child falls down, the child can get injured. You can have things that are like points that will help whoever you're profiling this thing to see where this thing is going. You can do GoFundMe. You can do different things, right? I usually look at things not from the complaint angle, because when you complain, what you do is that you shut the thinking or the creative or innovative faculty of your human brain. It's been proven by research. Your brain will not think of a solution. But when you ask yourself that, okay, I have a phone, I have internet, I can develop stuff, I can do things, right? You'll be surprised about the kind of initiative that you can drive. You can say that, okay, you have gone to do a survey or a feasibility or a cost assessment of what it takes to make this place motorable. And you have seen that it's going to cost this much. And you back it up by maybe somebody who is a bill of quantity specialist, right? A quantity surveyor or people like that. And they can be vetted. And you now say that with a donation of 1,000 naira or donation of 5,000 naira or donation of this one, we are ready to work with you to develop solutions for you. You can reach out to organizations and say that, look, we are ready to do this free for you, support this cause because we want to solve this challenge for children, we want to solve the challenge for nursing mothers, we want to solve this challenge for this and this and this and this. So you go and find organizations that are sensitive to those kind of, people, children, women, pregnant women and nursing mothers and things like that, that you're going to use your skill to develop stuff for them, but you are willing to do this. You can even form an ecosystem that says that, all right, let's 10 of us come together and be the force that'll be driving this thing. You'll be surprised how many people will come and support that because they have seen someone who is not selfish, but who is willing to solve a social problem. And before you know what is happening, things will start gaining traction. That is the way I think. All right. I hope that is helpful for Mr. Creative Show. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Sheon, take action and get Olofuta Road fixed.
Sheon, go and raise money.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. Do we have any more questions? Do we have any more?
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Good evening. I just want to commend the speaker.
Dr.
How are you?
Prof, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
How are you, my brother? God bless you.
I'm very fine.
Quite some time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Okay, in the absence of
time. Yeah, you have done so well. I so much, so more grace.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay. In the absence of any more questions, so that we can save the remaining time left and get productive, I would like to quickly invite the president of the tech community, Ogun Tech Community, who is also the registrar of West Midlands Open University, Nigeria, Mr. Kunle Grosemi, to quickly say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for giving me that privilege. Let me, on behalf of the Ogun Tech community, I want to thank our Oga Kwata that has done the beautiful presentation today, Dr. Larry Lewis. I'm not expecting anything less. We've been together. At least we've done quite a number of things before he left Nigeria to a God's own land. So thank you very much. We look forward to your more mentorship lectures. A lot of people have actually sent message to me. In fact, there is one somebody from Lagos that she would like to, have your contacts. I'm going to discuss more as regard that with her. So we all enjoy your lecture. Thank you very much. I don't know whether we can have this on radio tomorrow. About let me say 700,000 listen to Splash FM every Friday on Tech Talk. Okay. Though this is also unrecorded. Okay. I'm looking at a possibility of having you live virtual tomorrow on Splash FM by 1 p.m. to 1:35 thereafter. Okay. Understand? So
let me quickly check my calendar. Hold on.
So
tomorrow,
so that we
Friday.
We can do more on this.
Friday tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Friday.
Okay. Yeah, it's possible.
If tomorrow is
it's
not
open.
feasible,
no, it's
okay,
open.
It's open. Fine.
That time is open.
Fine.
That
fine.
time is open.
No problem. No problem. We can still make use of this link.
Okay.
Yes, we can still make use of this link. We are also going to circulate that so that technology is something that we have to continue to discuss day in, day out. Yeah. And we are happy that we have somebody like Edutans who, sponsor most of the things that we are doing in Ogun State at the moment when it comes to IT development. Yeah. Part of the show too on radio is the one sponsoring that. And that's why we must continue to take the technology discussion to any length. We are going to upload this lecture, so put the link on our website. Right. We usually have that experience after the seminar like this. People will be asking for the recorded version. Right. So I sent it to like 2 HODs of computer science. I told them we have to move away from talking. I mean, professor of computer science, HOD. These are some of the things students need to listen to. These are some of the things we are talking about, bridging the gap. Yeah. I read a story this morning that it's indeed a challenge for especially those who claim that they study computing, they practice computing. A new association has been launched in Nigeria, Nigeria Association of Artificial Intelligence Group. I saw the BOT chairman to be the Area Babalola.
Yes, that was a few days ago.
Professor. What did you say?
That was few days ago. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Yes, it was yesterday. So it was in the news. So what I'm trying to say there is that now that we are now having technologies for everybody, we're having a renowned lawyer, a renowned somebody who has the biggest chamber in Africa, who happens to be the chairman of BOT chairman. We have Professor Kebukola, the former Minister for Education, quite a number of them championing the advocacy as regards artificial intelligence, because it has come to stay. It has come to stay. Just like something I saw in the wall of Mr. Adieko 2 days ago. Before you can come and ask me any question, ask ChatGPT first. Have you asked ChatGPT? So what I'm saying in essence that we need more of these discussions. We'll continue to do our part. We want to bridge that gap of digital literacy. We want to continue to preach the gospel of ICT. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Let me also, at this point, to just say a few words to thank our speaker and our practice here, because we sincerely appreciate what he's done. He is a co-founder at Preamble and is the one in charge of mentorship training and the likes as the Ogun Tech Community. Mr. Olalekan Adeko, just say a few words as we call it a day today.
So good evening once again, Doctor. I think the president has said so much. So we appreciate you for your time. You were prompt. You gave us like a top-notch presentation, and I have my notepad there filled with lots of tips from your presentation. So we thank you, and we hope that we will get back to you soon, and you'll still do us the honor of jumping on our calls and leading any conversation that we can drag you into. So thank you once again. We wish you all the best. And thank you. All right.
Yeah. I mean, anytime one thing that most of us need to know that on this platform today is what Mr. Drosimi has mentioned, right? Before OTC became what it is today, some people came together to start the groundwork, right? And I was there from the beginning. So anything that OTC is doing, I will try as much as possible to give my best, because they say that if you are part of the people who saw the birth of a baby, right, you want that baby to grow. And so it's a thing of joy for me to support every effort that OTC is doing, because I was there from the beginning. Dr. Adenubi, my friend, also was there from the beginning. KS, Aoga, Kende Shogunle, Mr. Femi Williams, Dr. Shogunle, Daddy Shogunle. I mean, that's Mr. Drosimi was there from the beginning. Matthew too was there from the beginning. So anything that we're doing, right, I will support. Thank you for this opportunity to share my insight on the platform today.
So thank you so much and for taking time and for renewing your commitment to activities of the tech community. Definitely for our future activities, we'll definitely keep you abreast and keep you involved as we go on. You have just reminded us and renewed our hope now that we have someone who's willing to be part of the things we do. I must also thank Matthew Gontayo and Mr. Lekon Adeko for going against all odds to make this edition work. To the president too for being the motivating factor for everybody. At every point in time, it gets to a point where everybody gets overwhelmed by their day job And it looks as if we're pushing it, but then the president is always there to gear everybody to action. So thank you to everybody. And thank you to everybody who was going to be part of this call. So thank you for your rapt attention. Thank you for coming out, and thank you for listening. Next month, we'll come with another topic. Trust us. I said at the start that today would be as a interactive. I'm not a Nostradamus or some sort, but take it from me, when you see the profile of who's speaking and the practical experience, you don't expect any less. So thank you so much, Dr. Larry.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
This is our webinar for this month. Join us next month. The date, details, and time will be announced, and the guest speaker. Thank you. Good evening, and have a fantastic day.
Bye, everyone.